The history of drone production in Ukraine. The history of drone production in Ukraine began even before Russia's full-scale invasion, but its pace and scale dramatically accelerated and transformed with the onset of the war. 1. Pre-war period after 2014. Donbas conflict before 2022 full-scale invasion. Early use and civilian initiative when Russia's annexation of Crimea and the conflict in the eastern Donbas region began in 2014. The Ukrainian military quickly realized its reconnaissance and surveillance capabilities were severely lacking compared to Russia's. This led to civilian volunteers and startups proactively purchasing commercial drones e.g., Chinese DJI Mavic drones for reconnaissance missions. During this period, ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance drones were the primary focus. Start of indigenous development. Recognizing the civilian demand and potential, Ukrainian manufacturers began developing their own drone systems for ISR missions. Some of these early developed systems have been refined and are still in use after the full-scale invasion in 2022. Introduction of Turkish Bayraktar. Even before the war, Ukraine had already acquired and was operating Turkish Bayraktar TB2 combat drones. This indicates that Ukraine had recognized the military utility of drones early on. 2. Early full-scale invasion. February 2022 – early 2023. Weaponization of civilian drones. With the start of Russia's full-scale invasion, Ukraine began to leverage drones as a game changer against the numerically superior Russian forces. In particular, the practice of modifying inexpensive commercial FPV first-person view drones by attaching explosives spread rapidly. This created a David and Goliath scenario, where cheap drones were used to neutralize expensive Russian tanks and armored vehicles. Rapid field innovation. Battlefield experience was immediately incorporated into drone development. Volunteers and small workshops used 3D printers to create drone parts, assembling hundreds of drones daily for deployment to the front lines. This non-governmental, civilian-led production system became highly active. Reliance on international aid. During this period, there was some reliance on commercial drone assistance from Western countries and the procurement of certain military-grade drones. 3. Explosive growth in production capacity and technological advancement. Mid-2023 present. Active government involvement and drone army. Recognizing the critical importance of drones, the Ukrainian government launched the Drone Army project, making drone production a national priority. The Ministry of Digital Transformation and the Ministry of Defense began collaborating to systematically manage drone development, production, training, and frontline deployment. Exponential increase in production volume. FPV drone production, which was at thousands per year in 2022, has surged to over 2 million units in 2024. Monthly production capacity also increased from 20,000 units in 2024 to an estimated 200,000 units per month by early 2025. President Zelensky has even mentioned the possibility of producing 4 million drones annually in 2025. Explosive growth in domestic manufacturers. The number of Ukrainian drone manufacturers, which was only 7 before the full-scale invasion, has now grown to over 500 in 2025. This indicates a massive influx of private tech companies into the drone industry. Accelerated technological innovation. Long-range drone development. The production of long-range kamikaze drones e.g., Beaver drones with ranges exceeding 1,000 kilometers, capable of striking deep into Russian territory, has been fully initiated. Ukraine aims to produce 30,000 long-range drones in 2025. Enhanced AI and autonomy. Development of AI-powered autonomous drones that can evade Russian electronic warfare, EU interference, and independently identify and attack targets is highly active. Diverse unmanned systems beyond aerial drones. Development and production of various unmanned systems, including uncrewed surface vessels for naval attacks and uncrewed ground vehicles for logistics, reconnaissance, and combat support, are underway. Localization of components. While initial reliance on Chinese components was high, efforts are being made to gradually increase the proportion of domestically produced parts to stabilize the supply chain. Through this history, Ukraine has rapidly emerged as a drone powerhouse, redefining the role and importance of drones in modern warfare.